Hello, I'm Shieldwall100 and I'm joined once again in my games room by Kevin.
Hello.
Hooray! For our Southern Comfort fueled annual battle. Well, annual Southern Comfort fueled battle at least. And today we're doing Mythic Commander by Modifius Games because it's nice and easy and I haven't put it on the channel yet, I don't think, except in the in the demonstration I did for the review. So there you go. Yeah, we've got a couple of armies I've knocked together in 28mm for this on a nice little gridded map, and yeah, it's going to be got a bit of fun. I do like this rule set. Been playing quite a bit down my historical games club with some raised eyebrows there, and it's a good simple game and everyone's able to pick this up. So yeah, hopefully have a nice ding dong for you guys to watch today. Okay, let's have a look and see who's using which army and what kind of units we've got. Right, for me myself, I'm using an army from the Brutal set of army lists, and yeah, Brutal and Ancient is the Civilisation. So there you go. I'm using mostly Byzantine models from Fireforge Games, but I just figure they look so good, they do for a reasonable fantasy army looking sort of thing. So what we've got here is 3 units of Guardian Infantry. That's heavy infantry for you and I. Got my commander here, really nice figure. Some lancers, a couple of units of knights, all again from Fireforge Games. One of the Frostgrave Wizards to be my sorcerer dude, and 2 units of light infantry archers, rangers I think they are. So yeah, it's a compact army, but everything's hits pretty hard and is good at what it does. Yes, so that's basically that. What I'll be doing is I'll be uploading the army lists to my Facebook page, so if you're really interested in what different special rules I've given them, etc., you can check it out there. But yeah, that's the gist of what we're doing.
This is what we're rocking with. This will be the Dead Guys. Don't know which company makes them, I'm gonna be honest. So over here I've got my general, who's a Liche. I've got a Necromancer there as well as a wizard, so I've got lots of spells and no real idea of how to use them, so it's going to be interesting. I haven't used a lot of spells before. A couple of units of dead dusty guys as infantry. Got some guys at the back that are Revenant Knights within this game. 3 units of archers, a unit of elite white warriors, and a bone giant. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm hoping that the spells are going to pull some of this off, because like Lee said, his force is quite compact, but unit for unit we've got the same number. Yeah, we're winging it, okay? We're winging it on some comfort fueled energy.
Right, we're both deployed and we're going to get this game cracking now. So as you can see, Kevin, we've gone for just the baseline deployment because both armies are kind of small, so it gives us a bit more room to maneuver in the middle of the board. Kevin's gone for most of his warriors along the near side with his heavy infantry more central. He's got all of his shooters in the next line there in the middle, and he's got his heavies right at the far end, backed up by his wizard, his commander. Me, for my part, gone for a bit more of a balanced deployment. Got my all my heavy infantry in the middle there, the Phalanx, my light infantry archers at each end of the battlefield. Not sure how useful they'll be out there, and got some cavalry there and a little bit of cavalry there, but they've got my my storm wizard with them, so let's see what shenanigans we can get up to. Right, in terms of victory conditions, the game lasts for 8 turns. Assuming it gets that far, we can then look at victory conditions. As you can see, there's blue tiddlywinks on certain spaces of the board, mostly concentrated in the middle. Whoever at the end of the game holds most of these in various forms will win the game. Okay, and you also get 2 points for killing the enemy general. That's it. Okay, ready to get going, and so yeah, let's get this shindig started. We've done our first handful of activations, not a lot to talk about so far. I got initiative, so Kevin has the Fortune of War card. Boo. I first of all moved up my light infantry archers just to contest these victory points. Keep trying to play it a bit cagey. Kevin moved his Revenant Guard up, their heavy infantry skelly nasties, just here, and then I charged him with my Soulforged Guard, my heavy infantry guardians here, and crunched into him. Kevin, for his part, played defensive stance. so that he could re-roll his armor saves at the cost of not hitting me back. But yeah, overall, my blade skill guys managed to cause 3 points of damage on his nasty skelly dudes, so could have been worse for him, could have been better for me, but you know, I'll take it. I took no damage back, and that's nice for me. Okay, right, we're going to do a few more activations and let you know what goes on.
The activation didn't go quite as planned. I realise I've said that before in different games, and it's going to stand true for the next 50 million I play. So I ran up, committed, with my Mounted Revenants and my Liche, who's my general. We chucked down Despair, which is range 2, all enemy units within range gain morale tokens. Lee's not got great morale, but he does have great troops. In response to that, Lee's managed to lob in his general and a unit and completely remove my knights, which is a pain in the ass. My white's still alive. Sorry, my Lich is still alive. They're all suffering from morale, and I think it's pretty much a 50% chance for the general's unit to bugger off, and then the other 2 units are both on 5+, re-rolling ones. Is that right, or something very similar?
They're re-rolling ones. They're not.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, even though I've lost a unit, I could potentially remove 3 from the battlefield. But that does leave my Lich, who I didn't expect my guys to die. I used the Fortune of War for my guys, but I ended up having to save on 6s, and even with the reroll wasn't enough to keep him in the game. Lee then used the Fortune of War as well in exactly the same turn. So my Bone Giants run up in the vague hope that I can support, and can I join the monster? I'm not sure if I can join the monster.
You can join monsters, yeah.
So with a bit of luck I could join the monster, and all I've really got to hold off, to be fair now, is 1 unit of cavalry there and a unit of archers. But when you compare sort of like the number of hits you can take, I can only take 3 hits. I think Lee's general can take 5.
Yep.
And he's got all of the re-rolls out of the arse because he's an ancient. So yeah, that's pretty much how that went. At the moment, when you look at points win prizes, no one's really got the middle other than we're both adjacent. Lee's guys over there have taken that one, and my Bone Giant isn't really going to take one of these 2, and I think Lee knows that. So unless I can wipe out Lee's units or they all bugger off.
Well, it's unlikely I'm going to get much use out of these knights, Coursores as I'm calling them. So they charged into the leash and did 2 points of his 3 health, putting a morale on him. If he fails that, he will crumble since he's undying. But yep, that's them. I was kind of hoping they flattened him completely in 1 round of combat, but hey ho. We'll have to see what the morale roll has in store for them in the end. Kevin, in his activation, he moved one of his units of warriors just around there to face off against my Imperial Scouts. He's a bit scared of Conan in my cavalry, I understand. I would be too. And finally, for me, finally for this take, my Imperial Scouts here activated and shot their bows at the giant, causing 3 points of damage. Kevin burned the Fortune of War card again, gave it back to me. Didn't help, he still took 3 points of damage, yeah. And the giant technically doesn't count as dead in this game, despite all the evidence, so he can run away, so we got high hopes for that one.
Much to my surprise,
yes,
the Lich and the fucking giant can still run away.
Well, the Lich can crumble.
Oh, crumble, yeah, I think so.
But the giant, instead of crumbling, could run away, so we'll see. Right, another few activations to go.
All I'm saying is it's a good thing we've got some comfort and me and Lee are friends, because this was fucking awful. So after my Lich got knocked down to, I think it was just the one wound, wasn't it? I was like, well, you know, Lee's guy's got to make a morale check, and his general's got to make a morale check, and I've got to make a morale check. So this unit here, we're going to loose some volleys of arrows into this unit here. So
what could go wrong?
Ones are going to hit my my guy. I was like, okay, I'm completely prepared for that. So yeah, I'm not going to waste time talking about numbers. This isn't a game of risk. 2 wounds on Lee's guys. Hit my own guy twice by rolling 2 1s. I was like, yep, no worries, it's okay, it's okay. So I'll roll my saves on a 4+, roll 2 1s. And then it's okay, I'll get to roll 1s. So rolled another 2 1s.
Wards, you see, so
6 fucking 1s in a row. So my general's dead. But he didn't have to take the morale check. but the morale check was going to be on a 3+, so I thought statistically I should be playing the odds in my favour. Unfortunately, odds are dog shit. If I was that good with odds, I'd be in Vegas. So, I'm hoping this morale check's going to fail, Lee's going to bugger off, that morale check's going to fail, and Lee's going to bugger off, and that one's going to fail, and Lee's going to bugger off, because if that doesn't happen,
then you'll look pretty silly.
I'm a bit stuffed over here. This unit of archers took a shot at Lee's Phalanx when they moved up. Took 2 wounds off them, I think it was.
Yeah.
I did 1 wound to my own guys, but saved it on their armour. And yeah, I may be dead, but I'm now in this position where I'm not looking very healthy for claiming the objectives. And like I keep saying, points win prizes. I love another some comfort. Well, it certainly looked better, I've got to be honest. I took the unit of skeleton warriors that were back here. Lead already moved forward. I went ploughing in. Took the raw end of that deal, but I kind of suspected that was going to be the case. Cast Incinerate after a little bit of discussion between me and Lee about how Incinerate and Wildfire work. I thought Wildfire was going to hit all of the adjacent units I was in combat with, but it's not. It's one. And it was going to guarantee killing my Necromancer and the unit that he's standing with. But ploughed in, did bugger all, got smacked in the face in return. Calling that a not win. Had a unit of archers down here. They were like, pew pew pew! We'll shoot some arrows over at these guys, and did some hits, and 1 wound off my own guys. So that balanced out toss as well. And then Lee's unit that was, as you may have noticed, missing from over here. It's got some dogshit ability called Windwalk, where I've now got a unit of cavalry and a wizard at the rear of my lines, where yes, my giant, if he hasn't already run off, is going to run off and get even closer to the cavalry. So we're going into the wrap-up phase, do we call it? Aftermath phase.
Lots to look at.
Morale check for this guy, morale check for those guys, morale check for that guy, and my guys over here that are going to crumble and die on a D3. So let's hope for a 1 or a 2. We'll let you know how that goes.
Okay, Aftermath is now done, and yes, so things that ran away include not Kevin's stuff, not his giant who passed, and even his skeletons declined to crumble further. So
I did have to use Fortune of War to keep my bone giant.
He did use the Fortune of War card to keep the giant on the board though, but hey ho. Boo. My archers here have run off the board. Nice. My Coursores, knights, whatever you want to call them, failed their morale, but they only ran 2 spaces, so they're still on the board, but they're likely to run away. Thankfully, though, my general and the Cataphracts managed to stay in one place and didn't run away. That would have been a bit of a gut. So, yeah, currently I'm a general up, which is nice. And, yeah, but I know this game is very brutal, and Kevin has a gun line of skelly archers at the back, which is as yet untouched. So we'll see what we can do about them in turns to come. Well, next turn, which we're going to go to now. Right, into round number 2. Well, I hope the second turn continues to go in the manner in which it started. I got the initiative, and I played Hold the Line as a special order to activate my 2 stalwart brave heavy infantry units, which aren't being shot to bits. And we had a bit of a tussle in the middle. I think overall I didn't take any damage because Hold the Line gives me +1 on my morale save, and Kev took some light damage on both his units. So yeah, we're grinding him down. It's feeling pretty good. We're basically undoing the regeneration he did at the end of his turn with his regenerative magics on his skellies. Kevin, for his part, opted to thump the bone giant into the side of my cataphracts.
It wasn't a thump.
It wasn't really a thump in the end. It was a gentle fondle, as he says, yes. But that said, he went in, and because the giant's a monster and vicious, the one hit he did get through my armour took me down to 1 point remaining. So that's a morale marker for me again. On the upside, my general, and between them, the general and the Cataphract swung and killed the bone giant, just as I expected, of course. Yeah, that was totally planned on my part. So yeah, that was good. It'll be.
Forget that your character gets to attack as well. I thought I was going to have one guy hit me back, and I was going to be like, "No, fuck you, sunshine."
No, yeah, characters in this are pretty handy in that kind of respect. They do give units that little bit extra wallop, especially to the side and back when enemies don't expect it. So So yeah, hurrah for me. It'll be back to my activation now, and yeah, we'll let you know what happens.
From bad to worse, maybe. Don't know. So yeah, after leaving their storms here, or the guy with the stormy magic, these guys have ploughed across into the archers, knocking off was it seven points of damage, leaving them quite injured and unable to shoot anymore. Thanks, boys. I'll check. Over on this side, I had a unit of Skelly Warriors that I've moved up onto a scoring position and be engaged the archers. There were some blows on both sides. Nothing really eventful happened.
But a disadvantage there, definitely. Archers don't like being engaged, bogged down in combat.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm rolling a bit toss.
He is.
So it's all going to balance out. My real concern is these motherfuckers over here that Lee never talks about.
Nope.
Because their scoring is like, well, as long as Kevin doesn't know this. Those guys over there have kind of been abandoned now, because I think Lee gets a leadership bonus for being adjacent to his commander, so they're pretty much gone. And his commander, having to face down 2 units of potential archers, have bollocks off and have kind of gone this way, which is a really horrible thing to do, because it's kind of like retreating, but it's retreating towards the enemy because there's nothing there. It's like Brave Sir Robin from the Holy Grail, if anyone's ever heard it. When danger reared his ugly head, he quickly turned his tail and fled. Brave, 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 brave Sir Robin. And I'm only doing that really to goad Lee. So hopefully he's going to turn around and run across in front of my archers. But yeah,
that would be sporting. But yeah,
in a game that takes like 8 turns, 3 turns in, and everything's almost decided. So let's see how it goes.
So continuing turn 2's mayhem. Kevin's middle unit of archers here opened up once more on my brave Phalanx, which is currently facing a different direction, but they were back here and caught and chipped off a point of damage. I, for my part, then activated them and charged and wheeled them into the side of Kevin's Revenant Guard, causing causing a bit more attrition on the Skellies. Most of the damage, though, thankfully from Kevin, has actually been coming from his own army, because then his remaining archers opened up, put me down to 1 remaining wound on this unit here, hence the morale marker, but obligingly Kevin's been pummeling the living shit out of his own revenants here, so they are also down to 1 remaining hit left and a possible danger of crumbling thanks to the Undying Roar. So yeah, that's a good laugh.
3 wounds to my own elite troops and killed my Liche.
Yeah. So far, his archers have racked up an impressive casualty tally on his own units.
I mean, point for point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I should. Yeah, definitely be sending these guys Christmas cards this. Well, next year, I guess. So right, that's that, and we're going to do a bit more. Turn 2 already moving on quite quickly. More shenanigans going on. First of all, my wizard activated. He cast Hurricane at these hilarious Skelly boys who were in combat with my knights here, because I wanted to get them out of the way so I can carry on charging into more units next turn. So they moved up to here. Kevin then obligingly activated them to move them onto the objective points here, because he's still trying to win. Fool.
Well, they've got morale. I can lose D3, so
yeah.
On 1 to 4 they're alive next turn. I can
yeah, there's a good chance that they're alright, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And then finally I activated my my Imperial Scouts, my Rangers. They were locked in combat here. They didn't fancy that. They just moved into the middle here so they can potentially open fire or support next turn to their want. Okay, back to Kevin, and we'll see what he gets up to.
Ho ho, fuck. Well, that was one of those turns.
At least he was clever.
Yeah, the Skelly unit there, I was a little bit worried about crumbling if I attack. So the Necromancer just disappeared and joined this unit that's quite healthy and near on an objective. These 2 units, oh man, even my elite guys were like taking a morale check and had 1 hit to make. They hit, they got hit back and died. Skelly Warriors there have died. Lee's cavalry unit over in the top corner have run off the battlefield. I'm in a really poor position here. I won't be winning this one. I seem to be on my losing streak, as they say. And with nothing to blame for it other than a bit of a poor setup, to be honest, because even the dice haven't been that awful.
Into the aftermath phase. We've got morale checks to take. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but unless Lee's general's unit buggers off, you know, this is Lee's whole side. He's got the battlefield from here on in.
Aftermath phase is done. Table's looking a lot cleaner now. I like it. Right, yeah, my poor unit of 1 remaining strength point, Spearman has left the field. I had to roll for my general. Don't forget images of a rampaging giant in their brain. I managed to roll a 1 again. So I was going to run away, but then of course I had stand firm just to annoy Kevin.
That's some card bullshit.
Yep, card bullshit. So when I failed it, I just played the card and I passed. So yeah, of course, it's all in the mind, you see. That's how it works. So that's that. Going to go into round number 3 of 8 now. Yes, this game is great for the amount of carnage. I don't know why they... I think they have 8 round games because it's as a joke. Because rarely do you see one go past round 4. But hey, we'll see what happens. Into round 3 it is.
The archery backline was not working well. We took shots over it. Lee's unit that was there, they locked shields with one of Lee's bullshit cards that he's got 5 of and I've got none of. They turned, they charged, they hit my archers that were holding an actual objective that all of these people may not have got to. Wiped them out, which is a little bit frustrating. Second unit of archers loosed a volley into them, and again, for nothing but kiss, zip, 0, diddly. So yeah, I'm literally on a loser here, because I can see Lee quite easily taking, you know, obviously one of those with his little mage guy. He's got 2 units of cavalry. They can come over and take some of the centre with the unit that's already there. And at the minute, I'm piddling around on this one, and I've only got 4 units left, and one of those is a character. Anyway, if you don't hear from me for the rest of the day, thank you very much. It's been Shieldfall 100. I'm going to go and drink some Summon Comfort.
Yeah, I'm continuing to turn the screw on Kevin's beleaguered Skelly men. First of all, though, he activated over here. He moved his skeleton warriors forwards and engaged my guys. He couldn't charge because they were already entangled with I had to disentangle themselves from my phalanx first. He left his brave Necromancer behind, who, when it came round to Kevin's turn again, just turned to face because he's kind of depleted in useful spells. He has one where he can nuke himself and the enemy unit, but he doesn't kind of fancy doing that. He's not that brave.
I'm scoring, and you're not.
Yeah, he's currently on an objective point, and I'm not, so he sees it that way. For my part, in these activations, I charged in with my Coursores up here, and didn't do so good. 3 points of damage to Skelly archers and took 1 back, so the attrition is starting to take its toll on my cavalry. But yeah, I'm now stopping them from shooting again, which is good for me. So yeah, that's that. Carry on the last few activations of the round, and then check back in. Yeah, I just wrapped up my remaining moves. My hitherto fleeing spearman managed to rally. A rare case of a past morale roll for me. My general joined the unit of Coursores for next turn. My mage has moved into a better firing position. The Cataphracts, or what's left of them, the 1 hit, has peeled off to go and hold these objective markers. And finally, I managed to withdraw my rangers a bit to do some harassing fire next turn, perhaps. Yes. And that completes this round's activations. We'll go to the aftermath phase and see what goes on. We got some. Yeah, so actually no, there's not much else. There's no morale tokens to pick up this turn. We'll just do some regenerative magic and get on with round 4.
Aha! When shit goes down. So, Lee's general and that unit of cavalry were there. My archers went, okay. Run up here to take an objective. Lee's cavalry then travelled into this lot, charging them. We survived the combat. We chucked down a defensive stance to make sure I could re-roll my armor saves, took 4 wounds in total, and then it was my turn to activate, so we also fucked off to the middle. I'm basically sort of stalling the inevitable, but this way at least I put some pressure on Lee to bring himself back into the centre, It's going to cost him some moves, it's going to cost him some dice, and actually if his dice all go really, really poorly, and I mean really poorly, which we all know can happen, I could fucking pull this off. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Lee's got 1, definitely 2. Wizard 3. These guys 4.
We'll see what happens.
Unless he kills my units, it's going to be a draw.
That definitely won't happen.
So it's going to be a draw. Right, I'm confident.
Well, we're halfway through the game, so you know we've only got another half of the game to go.
Let me just check my measure of confidence.
It's hardly about to.
I'm that confident, people. There's quite a lot there of confidence for me to go. So okay, let's see.
Yeah, well, I'm glad Kev's confident because I just flattened his Necromancer and moved into his space because I'm heavy infantry.
Move into my space.
Well, you know. Then he charged out into my guys and flattened me in turn because over the course of a couple of rounds of combat. So yeah, that's me dead there.
It feels like less of a flattening now because I thought I've got 1. I'll be alright because you've only able to get there, and now I've given up 2.
Yep.
Nothing.
Well, you know. That's life, isn't it? Or on death, you know. Right, that's that. So yes, we're still trading a little bit, but now Kevin's acted out. It's just for me to finish off my activations. Yeah, just did my last few manoeuvres. A bit of moving around, teeing up. The guys here have about faced for the next turn's exertions, as have the remains of this unit here. The Cataphracts have moved on to the objective tokens. My wizard has just is running around behind them, and that'll do. We'll just do the aftermath phase where Kevin can try to regenerate some hits on his units, and we'll get on into round number 5.
It is what it is, people. Skeleton warriors came across like you saw, and took out the archers. Got charged from behind. Now on a morale check for those guys. Over here, one of the units of archers was like, we best move forward because we're going to get charged anyway by those bad boys, and we can't really do anything, can't attack, so we may as well move up, get further away from something else. So we did that, and then got hit by lightning bolts, for which I re-rolled some. Took, I think, 2 on that unit. And
3 on that unit.
Oh, sorry, 3 on that unit, 2 on that unit. Well, and that was 2 with a re-roll. Thinking, well, I'm going to get charged, so those are the ones I might want to use to re-roll on. I'm not the best general in the world, but I can see a shitstorm when it's coming in. And the windscreen wipers are all broke. My car's about to be laying in an undead ditch. But we'll see. Nil desperandum, as Richie Rich and Bottom would say.
Yep, rounds are finishing thick and fast here. In fact, because yeah, there's not an awful lot of Kevin's army left, but don't tell him. It's fine. Yes, basically, my spearmen, heavy infantry, mashed into his skelly archers. I got quite fortunate there. Kevin moved his skelly boys up. He's trying to do ring round the rosy to be cunning with objectives. I've put my Coursores on the board here just to catch up with them next turn. My generals joined the victorious unit of spearmen, and yeah, I'm just trying to box in these last few archers. I think that's that. Kevin, if you don't mind doing this live, we could do your morale check before we go into the next turn.
While Lee was talking, now I was basically pouring myself a drink. Yeah, because that's how we roll. Okay.
So let's see if they crumble or not.
If these guys are gone.
It's the only morale check this turn, so.
D3, so 1 or a 2 would be great.
Well, is there... Nope, what's their morale value? Because it might be that they pass.
I don't know.
Skeleton warriors.
4.
4, so a 4 will pass, so they don't crumble at all. Lucky. Right.
3, 4.
Haha. So yeah, that's it. We're going to go into round 6, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, that's all she wrote. Round 6 sort of finished up fairly abruptly. Unfortunately, Kevin's last few units just couldn't take the all the punishment that was coming their way from various sources. He did try and take out this brave unit of 1 spearman left, but thankfully my wizard had something to say about that. with Eye of the Storm, which totally made all the difference. Not at all. Yeah, got very lucky on my saves with these guys, even though there were 6s to hit. But hey, yep, that's that. Bit of a, yeah, as usual, the standard Mythic Commander Bloodbath. Surprised it actually lasted till round 6. It's usually over by end of round 3. You can tell who's won. But
how it's an 8-turn game. I mean, unless you're playing on a massive table with the same number of units, it's almost impossible to get to an 8-turn game. Or unless we're playing less cagey than a lot of other people might do. I don't know. It just seems very bizarre.
Usually the board's a bit bigger. I've scaled this up to 28mm, and I'm using my Strength and Honour map with 15cm squares. So usually there's a bit more meat on the map to get into, but often I see people playing bigger armies as well. I'm playing 2,000 points, which is a recommended size, but yeah, other people seem to have bigger armies. But hey, you know, I like it, and it gets the game done in a reasonable amount of time.
It's not too heavy. It's not too heavy gaming wise. You can play a lot of games where, well, like other game systems where you can play sort of 3,000-4,000 points, so you get all your toys in. And what you actually do is spend about 7 hours playing it, and then the last 2 sort of turns are just quite boring and they're all mop up. And I'd rather have quick mop up turns than very, very long ones.
Yeah. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this game. It was a nice little bash with some Southern comfort. And yeah, we're going to go off and drink some more now. And yeah, it's a really easy game. We didn't play with any terrain on the board or anything, but we still enjoyed ourselves. You can do a lot with this set of rules. Check out my review of it if you want to. Mythic Commander by Modifius. I'm Shield War 100, and I'll see you next time.